Buddy, we're going to get right on into it. It's Detonation Focus Me versus V3 Esports. This is week 10 for the LJL, another week to go. For them, it's more of like a super week, actually, because week 10 and 11, they're running right into it. It's kind of like I keep comparing the LJL to an early NALCS, which makes sense because the LJL has not been around that long comparatively. It's almost like a super week, if you will. Like they had back when it was like 5 days in a row of LCS. I think 4 days, maybe just 3. It was an absurd number of games that they had to do. Like it was a lot of stuff in order to catch up with the number of games that they had in the season. But anyways, Detonation Focus Me, continue to follow them and see if anybody can take them out. V3 Esports with their record of 6-11, not looking too hot. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. But hey, we've got quite a few games to go off to see if anybody can take them down. And I am going to remember, I'm saying it now, fingers crossed, to move my face once the game starts. But I digress. First champions banned through. We see that Yasuo, Rek'Sai, Jace. On the other side, Heimerdinger, Lucian, and Silas. Nobody wants Yasuo getting through because, at least in the LJL, Yorick showing up quite a few times. I imagine Yorick will probably get banned in the second round. Just as a sort of a threat, like, hey, we could pick this. Detonation Focus Me. Saying to themselves, just going to pick up Vladimir for ourselves. He is such a high priority champion. A lot of top laners recently talking about how you can see it all over Twitter. It's like, since when did Vladimir get so strong? There's nothing that can deal with Vladimir. This is obnoxious, yada, yada, yada. And it's fair. He's a ranged champion. Not a lot of ranged top laners out there right now. I mean, there's a few in the back pocket. I mean, but once you get rid of Jace, Silas, who's got a little bit of range behind him, at least wave clear control, then you're running into some trouble. I mean, Nico, sure, but I don't think that's not a practical pick. A lot of people are not pulling out Nico out of nowhere, and I don't nothing against the LJL. Again, still a younger region. Not very likely to see it from these players. Instead, V3 going for the Rise and Ashe, trying to get some late game scaling for themselves, just because Rise typically, it's almost an answer for the Vladimir. Can hold up against him, can be used as a flex pick as well. Depending on where the Vladimir goes, they can save that top lane pick or mid lane pick for later on in their draft. But again, the Rise will scale up quite well against the Vladimir as well, so they can at least match themselves on that front. As Detonation Focus Me sort of opting for that early game threat of Lee Sin, kind of create this nice well-rounded team composition with the Lee Sin and Braum, you know, dominance with Braum, whatever. But the Lee Sin coming in to help push Vladimir up in that lane dominance, maybe throw some ganks towards his way. I mean, Vladimir should maintain himself, but Lee Sin adding that little bit of threat for himself. And actually, this is going to be Steel's first Lee Sin game of the split. So it'll be cool to see how he can do on this Lee Sin pick. I'm wondering, because they're so confident in their picks right now, that they're kind of being a little bit more loose. I mean, when you're picking Lee Sin, you're usually going to go hard on the paint. You know, every jungler typically wants to play Lee Sin. So it'll be pretty cool to see what he can do with him. I mean, there was a lot of junglers available at the time when they picked that, so I guess Detonation Focus Me just said, hey, we want to hold out on the AD carry as well as the jungler for ourselves. I mean, not jungler, I'm sorry. Mid laner or top could flex that Vlad instead of committing to that. Just trying to find something else. I mean, they absolutely have first place. There's no other team that can go ahead and take that away from them. On the flip side, V3 trying to find their answer with Rakan. He did get his grand entrance buffed again. The speed on that is not nearly as slow as it had been nerfed to the ground to be. Hopefully you guys are not hearing that dog in the background. If you do, I apologize. And Detonation Focus Me. Picking up a Vayne and Lissandra for themselves. Around that comp, going for a late game. Utapon, I think this might be his first Vayne game. It is actually his first Vayne game as well. So everybody just kind of playing a little loose this time around. Detonation Focus Me, picking up some champions that they're not so used to. And oh, Saros, I'm sorry. I guess it's Ramune and Saros are getting some split up time. Throwing back in Saros. That's the thing, right, because Saros was doing a little rough there, not as hot as they wanted to. That's why you saw that Heimerdinger ban there. Should have picked up on that a little bit ago. And geez Louise, getting so used to seeing these players getting moved around. But Ramune known for more of his assassin play. Saros known for his lane control. That was kind of like a big thing against Detonation Focus Me for a while, is that like Saros couldn't do much more than play Heimerdinger. I mean, he plays Heimerdinger really well. Maybe too well. That's why you see that band out of there. Should have pieced that together. I was like, oh, it's Utapon that plays Heimerdinger. No, that's a different team entirely. I think it might be... There's another 80 carry in the LJL. I'm pretty positive that plays Heimerdinger. Anyways, Saros getting subbed in because Detonation Focus Me, they can do what they want. They can flex this out. They have series to look for ahead to. They have playoffs that they're going to be dealing with, and they don't have anything to worry about. You might as well open up your select here. If someone starts flubbing in the series, you have a mid laner that you can swap between. It's not a big deal. Go ahead, take care of your roster and stuff like that. V3 on the flip side, though, rounding out their composition with in Aurelia and in Evelyn in the jungle. Goodness, I looked at Evelyn for a hot second. I was about to say Elise, and I was like, that's not right. Drink coffee, Thomas. You fool. Anyways, we are heading into the game. It looks like a pretty basic start from the side of Detonation Focus Me. It's keeping those safety lines. Vladimir getting locked up there for a hot second. But is V3, it looks like they're grouping right now. Evelyn, sorry, geez Louise, how many times am I going to do that this time? Maybe going to be grouping with the bottom lane to try and push some vision in there. And you can see that V3 up against quite a bit of scrutiny from the crowd. Now, surprise, really, Detonation Focus Me have really continued to just be the main dominant force in the LJL. Do want to just see, that's why we're following Detonation Focus Me. I want to see somebody take them down in a strategic minded way, you know, some kind of interesting form. Get something going for themselves. Great to see. But got these junglers starting off on such. And Evelyn, actually, kind of an interesting start. Starting off with the chicken camp, going on to the red buff as a second thing. I mean, Evelyn's got some really nice wave clear and can heal herself up by sort of like passing through camps and just dropping the Q through it with that Hunter's Talisman. So maybe just playing around with that and doing a full clear of the top side and just trying to maybe play around with what Steel may or may not do. Trying to be a little bit safe. I think most people would suspect, it looks like they did get it, would expect Evelyn to get blue buff, pretty dependent on that as far as being able to spam skills. Instead, going to take the safer route, clear the top side, and maybe just make her way over to the enemy jungler's blue. Because Lee Sin already on that Scuttle Crab. And Savage kind of playing some mind games here. I do like that he's taking this sort of strange path, but he is going to get caught out by this ward here. I think he should have seen that. We do see the ping going out on the Evelyn. So Lee Sin does know of her location. Is the Lee Sin going to just run across this lane and try and take it away? It looks like he is gunning for it. Savage, you've got to get a smite onto this. Otherwise, Lee Sin's going to get it. Oh, that was really tight. Oh, goodness. That would have been very disappointing. And now here's Lee Sin on the hunt for that Evelyn. Uh-oh, Savage, you were making such a good path, but Steel's gonna get the jump on you. It's red buff and red buff. Can we see the charm land? Are we gonna see the Lee Sin not take much more damage, but Savage getting very, very low? If one more Q lands, that is gonna be a dead Savage. Can he get out of this situation? But now Lee Sin's getting pinched on. Savage having to splash down. 3v1 onto Paz now, getting left out to dry. And it looks like First Blood gonna go over to Saros, who made the roam towards topside. Ace not able to join in the top in skirmish, focusing on the farm in the mid lane, getting pushed in, it looks like, probably by the Lissandra. And Savage, who I was saying, man, you had a nice jungle start there, I thought. That was pretty good, but just since should have thought that Lee Sin was going to be on the hunt for you. It even felt like an awkward path to be taking there. Pretty unnecessary. You had Lissandra pushing really far forward, almost baiting him in to take that path. Set up the Aurelia, but Aurelia got pushed in. Unfortunate for Rise and Net. Ended up falling, having used the teleport and flash already. Vladimir going to have that advantage to safely farm up in the lane, kind of get a little bit more farm before he has to base and use that teleport. Be on the up and up. But the jungle, a lot of business going on there, and the top side with a few mind games. Got this bottom lane going on here. Ashe with a little bit of a CS lead. I don't know how that'll fly too long. They do have the range advantage against the Vayne and Braum. I mean, Rakan with his Q can throw that out left and right. Does have that a slight range advantage over Braum in that regard. A little bit harder for Braum to land that Q. It's a pretty slow moving skill shot. Rakan's a little bit faster. He's a little bit faster guy overall. Be exciting to see if Vivid can make this Rakan pick work. After getting nerfed in the ground, we haven't seen it too much this split after it got nerfed into the ground. Grand entrance just taking such a hard hit. It was pretty unfortunate. Just one of those changes where it's, I mean, Rakan was kind of like the most relevant support at the time, so I get that he needs a little bit of trimming down, but for him to just kind of get gutted in such a harsh way, it was pretty unfortunate. And thank you, Zerost, for using your freaking bird to see people, because I feel like people forget about that skill shot far too often. Even the pros I see not use it very effectively. But thinking pretty straightforward, like, where's Lee Sin likely to be? I'm going to throw out that skill shot, give my Hawk the sight, the Hawk shot, and it could say skill shot over and over again, Hawk shot. And figure out where he's at. Where's he likely going to be? He's likely going to be on Krugs. Let's go ahead, drop it over there. Oh, he is there. If he wasn't, we know, okay, where's the threat going to be? I've offered protection to so much of my teammates, and it's just not a skill that I think is appreciated enough. I mean, glad to see that Ashe is out here on the field right now. Be interested to see if how this Ashe will play out, especially for Savage, who needs, it's so vital for him to hit that level 6. I mean, he's closing in on it, and he didn't die, so it isn't too much trouble. But Lee Sin now going on to Ace. Ace charging on in and gonna just die. Thinks he has the advantage. I imagine he probably had max stacks on his passive and said, oh, I can get a lot of nice true damage out onto this Lissandra now. Let me jump on in. And wrong decision. Sorry there, guy. Bad choice. Steal is right there, and that was a little rough by Ace. Okay, let's see it. We don't see the passive stacks because we don't have that from our side of the view, but one misses the stun, so entirely flubs this dive. I mean, they knew that Lee Sin was on the bottom side of the map and that he hadn't been moving around. I mean, maybe they thought he could have beelined it towards top, but they didn't have any vision control. That was a premature move by Ace to just run and gun. In there, a little rough. Just another free kill getting handed over. Detonation Focus Me playing the map pretty well for themselves so far, or at least just taking advantage of the fact that V3's players don't seem to be sort of thinking about the threat of where someone could be. That's pretty unfortunate. But we do have Savage moving on in, getting some vision. They just need to make sure that they keep sight on this Lee Sin. But Evelyn looking like she wants to make some business. Try and do what Steel did to Savage here. Hide out, try and catch Lee Sin out of sorts, but don't think he's going to get anything rolling here. Paz really forcing down the way of Vladimir. We see this range advantage and damage on the side of Paz right now, it looks like. Vladimir just needs so much time to scale, and Rise does have just a little bit better pushing power in the early starts of the game against the Vladimir. Seeing that in effect, we already have a turret plate down on that side. But now it looks like we got a dive going on here. Aurelia having to clear up the wave again. We see Lissandra towards the bottom lane, going to move back for now. And while that business goes on bottom lane, got Evelyn stealing a buff. Herself is still going to make a move onto the Aurelia. Ace doesn't fall for it this time, plays it a little bit more safe. Aware of the idea that, maybe Lee Sin's close by. We didn't see him in the vision, but we saw him down bottom side a moment ago. But now Lee Sin and Lissandra out a little bit far. Evelyn trying to thinking about what she wants to do here. No moves just yet, as the lanes were sort of shoved in both mid and bottom side. But here comes the Lissandra, but we see the charm down, dropped onto her. We see the Aurelia ulti dropped. Evelyn dropping her ulti as well. The kickback onto the Aurelia. Lee Sin's going to be falling down to the Aurelia as a blade surge cutting across him. Crystal Ice Hero flying across the screen as well for some added support that would have likely hit the Lee Sin if the Aurelia didn't finish him off. And, ooh, Rise not feeling too confident about that fight. Going to just duck out of there real quick. Looking pretty good for him, actually, there for a little bit. Maybe just didn't want any more damage so that Vladimir ultimate didn't end up popping him even harder. Let's see this. They don't know that Savage is there. See Lissandra go in. We see the successful stun, but we got another fight in the bottom lane. Ultimate drop from Baram, as well as the Vayne and Rakan. Nothing there, but it disengaged. The Baram ulti got dropped a little too close under the turret. Maybe detonation focus means bottom lane. Grand entrance going in, but we see just a quick go in, get out from the Rakan. Nothing fancy, but we do see a little bit of chip damage going on to the likes of Vayne and Braum, but they have enough sustain for themselves. I'm sure they'll be healthy here pretty shortly, as the CS is kept pretty nice and tight. And just a little bit of tit-for-tat damage going back between these bottom laners. Next Drake up in about a minute here. First Infernal falling over to Detonation Focus Me. I'll be interested to see which laners will be wanting to pick up this dragon. It'd be a real nice one 4v3 to be able to contest and pick up for themselves that Ocean Drake. Oh, so important in the early parts of the game. You have to see how hard V3 is willing to commit to this. Maybe getting a little low there, but not falling just yet. And my, oh my, I just remembered I'm blocking all the items for you guys. You're welcome. Gosh darn it. The worst, guys. It's just the worst. But how do we want to see this V3 team composition come together? Because we've been talking about a little bit of small plays from the junglers here, and the Evelyn we haven't really talked much about because it's a jungler we don't see too quite often. I think this is Savage's first game of the split, and it's a very snowbally champion. You really need to get a few kills on her to get her rolling. And we even see that ring to get some stacks on the Evelyn, hoping that she can get something for herself. But is it... How are they going to make this Evelyn come alive? We already saw that emphasis mid lane, but I would like to think that bottom lane is going to be the access point for it. But there's been so much attention mid from the likes of Detonation Focus Me. Maybe Evelyn can play around with that just a little bit. Move it out here a little bit too hard. Maybe, nope, just going to get on out of that situation. A little bit of scuffling here and there, nothing too crazy. How are they going to get some stacks on this Dark Steel of theirs for the Evelyn? Just slowly farming the game out. I really do think bottom lane might be the answer for that. Followed up the Crystal Ice Arrow Grand Entrance, chain it up with the Rakan Ultimate. Maybe that's the way that you can get things rolling for themselves. But as of right now, it just seems like this, although gold is very tight, Detonation Focus Me seem to just have control in every skirmish situation. A3 not too confident about fighting anybody right now. We already see those pings, mass pings going out. And, ooh, missed Crystal Ice Arrow. Grand Entrance not hitting as well, forcing the flash from Vayne at least in this 2v1. But Vayne keeping the control. Utapon not falling for anything. Staying safe as it's a 2v1 situation. I mean, credit for V3's bottom lane for trying to make something happen. It's just unfortunate that it did not go their way, as they knew that the bottom lane, that the Braum was heading on mid lane, gonna stop that Rift Herald. V3 just a little bit behind the tempo. You could even just see it based on the Evelyn trying to go for that Rift Herald, because Lee Sin had started the dragon, and then V3 was like kind of lackadaisical, and they're like, I guess we can try and get Rift Herald for ourselves. Maybe it's worth trying. And then Detonation Focus Me were like, okay, they're taking Rift Herald. Let's get on over there so that they cannot get that themselves. How's it going to be? I mean, at least in V3, the Evelyn might be a point of concern in the same way Lee Sin. I mean, he does eventually fall off damage-wise, and he does offer the kick-up, and then Elise sort of falls apart with offering much, unless you can get the charm, maybe in a team fight. It's hard to say. But if through the bottom lane, if it can get a Crystal Ice Arrow, or they have the scaling of the Aurelia and the Rise, there's enough of a base layer there for V3 to still continue moving forward in this game. And, well, Rise actually ended up getting a turret for himself, able to bully out this Vladimir enough to get that first turret blood gold for themselves. And I think quite a few plates there as well. Plating went down a little over a minute ago, but Rise getting a little bit of money in his pocket. Already has Seraph's Embrace. Looks like he's going to be completing that Rod of Ages here pretty soon. Looks like that's what it's going for. And maybe they can push something through this Rise. Vladimir just playing it safe. And 2 members from V3 going on to Seros. Not able to get the lockdown just yet. Aurelia not confident with dropping that ultimate out for the follow-up damage. V3 trying to find their way in here with some kills. But on the neutral objective front, Detonation Focus Me, they've got both dragons. They've got Rift Herald for themselves. Lee Sin going to be dropping this. Rift Herald will be interested to see where he drops it. At mid lane, looking like a pretty good spot here. And we see Detonation Focus Me making the move towards mid lane, pulling the majority of their members. Is Aurelia trying to make a play here, but now we see them going on to the Aurelia, getting pretty low. They were going to see this pop from the Vladimir. Grand Entrance, though, and the quickness coming in from Rakan, though, trying to get something to happen. Braum getting the kill onto Aurelia, but here comes Rise onto the backside. V3 members getting very low, but Detonation Focus Me getting just as low. Rise getting left out to drive on his own. Ooh, Utapon now rolling on in, getting a kill onto the Rise, hunting down Savage. Instead, they're going to turn on to the rest of the turret, and this fight looking good there for a moment for V3. Detonation Focus Me able to clean it up, though, and not actually losing a single member, picking up 2 kills instead and a turret for themselves. Let's see how that fight goes. Again, Aurelia able to get a stun, but here comes Vladimir drawing out a lot of damage, pushing out Savage and Ace from the fight, at least what they want to do. Ace just going to be dropping from that Braum ulti. Zeros trying to be in a good position to get out some damage, just not able to do it. Actually getting hit by the Rift Herald there, taking a little bit of damage. And Has trying to do what he can. It looked like he was going to be able to pop off there, but as far as the angling of that situation, he focused targets onto like this low health target in the opposite direction. Rise, you kind of want his abilities to just, you know, machine gun through people, get that passive to pop onto people so that when you throw that Q, it just like hits all those extra targets. I think if he had shifted targets, it would have worked out better for him, but unfortunately didn't quite work out the way that he planned. It looks like, ooh, Vivid out a little bit far. Braum, okay, this Sports kind of, I think, looking at different things on their screens there for a moment. Little distracted there. It's all good. I don't think it was just supports meeting each other, you know, just clearing out visions. Like, hey, I warded your side, you warded my side. All right, let's get out of here. Ace, though, getting a little tired of this Lysandra. And that's the thing. I mean, Ace almost made a lot, like, very close to getting a kill in that last fight. I mean, once he has Trinity Force completed, I think it's very likely to get things rolling for himself. He did get that Tiamat, though, which is going to prolong that item buy for himself. As long as V3 can maybe depend on Paz to maintain control of the top lane. We do have Evelyn, though, sitting around here as well, getting a lot of damage onto Saros. Saros just forced to ulti self to stay alive. Evelyn still not able to get a kill, but Saros out maybe a little too far now, trying to drop the stun, not able to land just yet. Rise coming in, though, from the backside. Crystal Ice Arrow dropping onto the Braum, able to get a kill onto Lysandra, and now we have Vladimir teleporting in. Did not want to go commit through that, going to be forced to run, working his way back in, dealing out a lot of damage. Is Savage going to be dropping here from the Vladimir ultimate? Eevee doing a good job of stalling the fight, and now here's Udapon getting a kill onto Ashe. V3 on the run now, getting locked up. Aurelia able to stun here just a bit. Now here comes Udapon coming on from the backside. Rise getting knocked down as well. Only 2 members alive on the side of V3. No Baron to take yet, but now they can turn towards the Infernal Drake. Good for themselves. Goodness gracious. It looked like, again, V3 had the fight in their favor. Not able to link it up, though. And falling eventually on at the back end. Eevee getting confident. It looked like he was going to be falling there, and then said, oh, nope, got the rest of the team at the back coming from the rear here. Gonna drop all my damage, stall it out, pop Zhonya's here. So Lysandra getting down, Steel out of the fight. Looks like he's out of it. Gange. Uh-oh. All right, Eevee's in this 1v5 situation. Oh, wait, the rest of my team's coming here. Let's drop it all down. Zerost in a real bad position. Blade of the Rune King dropped from Udapon onto the Ashe. Not able to keep himself safe. Braum just getting that easy access to that. V3 just kind of bloodlust in their eyes, said, oh, we can do it. And then Vladimir just turning around, dropping everything. Sort of, I think, startled him a little too much. It was a stopwatch, not even Zhonya's, it looked like. It's a really good stopwatch use by Eevee, holding on to that for later parts. Goodness. Got it. Get some water there. Burning my throat. So, game control now. 3K gold lead on Detonation Focus Me. Double Infernal Drake. They've got so much going for them, even an Ocean Drake in the bag as well. This is not looking good for V3. I mean, they've got Paz scaling up pretty well. Finally, a Trinity Force onto Aurelia. Ashe, though, quite a ways away on the item build, and now you got a Vayne with a Blade of the Rune King and a Rage Blade. That's pretty scary. I mean, Paz doing so much work against this Vladimir, but is it going to be enough to stall the game out, to let this Ashe scale, to let this Aurelia scale? The side of Detonation Focus Me, they've got so many tools to sort of stall. They have the Zhonya's on Vladimir. Lysandra can ulti any target. Sort of stall these fights in certain ways and then deal out a lot of AoE damage. Wait for this front to back sort of fight to come out of it. Find out these targets on their own. They've just got a lot going on in their team composition. V3, like, they've got the CC behind them. They just need to get the, like, kill a target, stay in a battle line position, not panic and say, hey, we can get this guy, we can get this guy, and form up a little bit better. That last team fight just pretty sloppy by them. Evelyn not really proving to be that significant of a pick here. I mean, at most, we get to see the KDA Evelyn skin, which is pretty cool. So that's nice, but nothing really going for them right now. They just need to get a nice pick. Use that Crystal Ice Arrow. You know, I use credit Zerost for using that Hawk Shot. Let's see that Crystal Ice Arrow, though. Just pick out a target on its own. Link that up with the Evelyn. Do some across the map. Play with that. Be spicy. I know that that's more Bang's signature, a Korean signature thing to like get it across the map sort of a deal. But actually, wait, is Zerost Korean? Don't want to bite my tongue here. Let's check out these players here. Oh no, he's Japanese. All right. That's why I need the nationalities up on all these players that get confused. There's only one full Japanese team in the LJL, I believe. I think that is the Pandas, I believe. Pandas? What am I talking about? Sengoku Gaming. They've got like a skull. The only reason I thought it was a panda is because I was like, in my head I was imagining the logo and it's like black and white, Japanese, panda, right? That's not even close. Jeez Louise. Dear Lord. What is wrong with me? It's a Chinese thing, pandas. What are you even talking about? Yeah, just babbling on. Anyways, let's talk about the game here. It's like Detonation Focus Me have got Baron in their eyes, and why not? They have got the goal lead to support it. They have also a Vayne with Rage Blade and Blade of the Rune King 2 Infernal Drakes. They can take this dragon this Baron so quickly on their own. And they're probably interested in taking a fight here pretty soon as well. I mean, they keep winning these offset fights even. I mean, they just won a 4v5 not too long ago. Getting vision control for themselves. All they need is someone to make the wrong move, get out too far. And is it going to be Vivid out too far? It does have a lot of CC, but now Savage showing up. Nothing just yet. Detonation Focus Me want a clear-cut answer to this fight. Oh, Eevee, though, getting low. Paz getting real confident with the damage and doing a lot. Flashing forward. Turret falling down. Eevee gonna just run into a Q from the Rise. Not sure what the game plan was there. Used the Sanguine Pool and kept just taking face shots from the Rise. Goodbye, Paz, though. Getting a kill. Sort of keeping V3 and providing them any hopes of staying in this game. So, yeah, definitely want to see the start of this. Rune Prism, Q. Dropping skill shots, drops the ultimate, then kind of is like thinking, oh, I can take this fight. And, man, that was a little bit of a sad situation there from Eevee. Maybe needs to work on the Vladimir play, maybe just a hair. It's a little unfortunate. I mean, he does have a lot of Vladimir experience. Eevee looks like he's played it a couple of times this split. Just wasn't too impressed with that one. Maybe just an off game for him. But has really tearing it up for V3. Trying his best to get gold for his team. Try and bring them back up. Only one to get turrets so far. If they can get a nicer, clean fight, maybe Rise can do enough AoE damage to knock down some targets here. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, that Vayne does have a QSS for herself, so any CC can be able to get out of there. GA on the Lee Sin. Zhonya's, as we said already, on the Vladimir. Will sound to keep herself safe. Ooh, Saros, though, out on his own. Going to drop the ultimate, sort of stall it out for the rest of Detonation Focus Me, but getting very low. Going to be falling to the Evelyn. Have a teleport coming in from V3 as well. Ace getting very low. Going to be falling down by the Vladimir. Now it looks like V3 is on the run, trying to get out of this bad situation. Zeros trying to get into position, trying to deal some damage as well. Steel coming in on the backside, going to kick Savage to the face, take him out. We see Braum jumping on in, going to be falling to the Ash as well, but we have a G going over onto the Lee Sin. Zerost in a pretty good position. Crystal Ice Arrow not going to get its target. Lee Sin going to be on the run out of there. Eevee trying to do what he can on the damage. Can he deal enough damage? But Zerost is going to finish up the fight, getting that kill onto Vladimir. That's going to be a 3 for 2 in favor of V3. Are they going to be looking towards the Baron? This Lee Sin is still alive right now, so Smite available for Detonation Focus Me for a potential steal. Instead, it looks like they're going to be just getting vision control for now. Oh, the fight almost, again, so close for V3 for taking the full thing there. Fight just getting a little bit sloppy. So Saros getting caught out on some vision, thinking that he's got the situational advantage there. Instead, going to get CC'd up. Doesn't have time to really stall out the fight much longer. V3, it looks like there's so many of these V3's members are a little bit helter-skelter, like there was maybe a call to continue and maybe go on, because we saw Vivid sort of wrap around and like try and get out of that fight instead of continuing to offer some more support with it. But let's see. Everyone seemed to forget that Steel was there. They were going to focus on the larger number of targets, so that's good. And a little dangerous there. Eevee almost coming out on top there if he dished out a little bit more damage in that situation, but Detonation Focus Me still in the driver's seat in this one. Gold lead closing out a little bit for V3 as they continue to scale up, get more damage for themselves. This Ash doing a lot more damage as well. I do want to see Executioner's Calling, though, built maybe for against that Vladimir so that he isn't so much a threat in those later parts of the fight. Also reduce the healing of that Vayne as well. Maybe get picked up. Just trying to get damage for now, but Executioner's Calling, an item that people underestimate far too often. The Grievous Wounds, really nice to get for themselves. I mean, Rise does have it on the Morellonomicon, so maybe they're just confident that that is enough for themselves. But I like to see it spread out. Ash can dish it out so quickly across the map so easily. But at least they do have it in shape of a Morellonomicon. Got a third Infernal Drake coming up here. Will V3 finally fight for a dragon? 3 Infernal Drakes is nothing you want to be up against. That adds so much damage. And be such a massive benefit to Detonation Focus Me, who continue to still want, looks like, control that Baron. Who can blame them? As soon as they get that vision control, they can go for that dragon. And I'll be interested to see if maybe they can bait V3 into thinking, hey, you can take the Infernal Drake. That's fine. We already have 2 for ourselves. We're going to take the Baron instead. But maybe Detonation Focus Me will be greedy. We see some pings going on to the bottom side of the map. Another 35 seconds till that Infernal Drake spawns. Got Vladimir in the bottom lane, pushing that minion lane up and working his way towards the dragon. So it looks like Infernal Drake is going to be the next destination for a fight. Sandra on the top side does have teleport in their back pocket. Az doesn't have the teleport, so he is going to want to be present here. Vladimir shifting on down, trying to get some damage out. Isn't happening just yet. Rise needs to get up there, though, and be a part of that fight. He does not have teleport. And Detonation Focus Me now getting the beeline track to get on top of that Infernal Drake. RV3 going to be able to successfully focus anything. Saros getting caught out by himself. Savage getting chunked down considerably. Saros stalling it out so the rest of the members of Detonation Focus Me can get in position. Udupon going on in, getting very low. Aurelia getting some nice damage out. Zaras, though, getting low himself. Udupon trying to do what he can on the backside. No kills going down just yet, but here comes Udupon and Vladimir picking up kills on the side of V3. That's another one going over for Udupon. Udupon starting to tear up the fight here. And now it looks like that was a triple kill, and this might just be the end of the game in favor of Detonation Focus Me. One more fight, just going astray from V3, just not in a battle line position, sort of panicking, saying, oh, we can get this, we can get the Lissandra, oh wait, she ultied, oh wait, she Zonia'd, oh no, there's Detonation Focus Me. I don't think Savage is going to have it in the tank to sort of deal with this situation. This game is going to be falling in the favor of Detonation Focus Me, and Detonation Focus Me continue their reign over the LJL without much contention. V3, few scary fights there. I think Eevee's got to work on his Vladimir play, but pretty strong from Detonation Focus Me as they continue their reign across the LJL, and even with a summoning Saros again. So scary stuff on the side of Detonation Focus Me, but anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Getting slowly better and better. Would definitely pay off if I did a little more looking around. I just gotta warm up, I think, a little bit more instead of just diving in. I think I'm getting better at diving on in and stuff, but warming up a little bit before I get rolling and be serve me good. Review some champion names, some skill names, and stuff like that, and things, because I was just like, Elise or Evelyn, and I'm pretty sure I said Elise several times versus Evelyn. Don't know about that, but team fights coming along. I think can always improve that, of course. Got to keep my pacing up. Got to be a little bit more excited. Would not hurt for me to drink some coffee before I did this. Maybe pump up a little bit, because came home from work, worked out. Don't want to make too many excuses, but anyways, plenty to improve on. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.